What's the word, everyone? I'm your host, Critical, and if you're like me, finding a place to eat is never an easy thing to do. Whether I'm in my hometown of Seaport, Savannah, Mapleton, Atlanta, visiting family in Brooklyn, New York, or just traveling, I always find myself wishing I had a trusted friend I can call to tell me where to eat. The infatuation is that friend. The infatuation helps you find the right restaurant for any situation. Need a place for a first date? Trying to find a spot for your birthday that you don't want to celebrate, except you also kind of do? The infatuation has you covered in all these situations and many, many more. So if you ever need to find a place to eat, but don't want to read through thousands of unreliable crowdsourced reviews, hit up theinfatuation.com or download their free app for iOS and Android to search thousands of restaurant reviews and guides in 22 major cities around the world. Or let the infatuation do the work for you by sending a text to 64560. That text is 64560. A real person will respond and help you find a restaurant that's perfect for whatever situation you find yourself in. 1.
Hello and good evening. This is Queen Ella and you are now tuned in to Critical Blues Reviews and Friends. Just to let you know that there probably will be some swearing. Every time he brings me on, I'm going to let you know that. So I will be cussing up a storm probably. And you'll be hearing my dog Sweet Pea in the background. So all that panting you're hearing going on, that's actually her checking things out and wondering what the fuck we're doing.
Welcome to Critical Blues Reviews. I'm your host, Critical, and you heard earlier on my co-host for the evening, Queen Ella did your thing. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you
for doing another Critical Blues Reviews with me.
Thank you for inviting me for another one. I appreciate that.
No problem. So I wanted to say what's the word, everyone, and make me last by giving listener support for the podcast. That's right. Make me last by giving listener support for the podcast. Look out. And also, too, I wanted to say, I don't know if you heard I think the last couple episodes I did, I was talking about that I had like my 25th episode. Actually, it wasn't. It was my 26th, so I lied to everybody. I lied to myself.
You're a liar.
I lied to myself.
You lied to me.
Hey, I was so bad when I looked and saw that I like had 5 like 2 times.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? It's like episode 5. And I'm like, episode 25. And now it's 26. So yeah, so anyway, that was a little something. And today we will be reviewing Black Mirror Bandersnatch. How do you like the title Black Mirror Bandersnatch? What does Bandersnatch come to mind to you?
You know what? I was not ready for that. Well, we talked about that earlier. What does Bandersnatch remind you of? What do you think of when you
Bandersnatch reminds me of a Black Mirror TV show. And it happens that this Bandersnatch TV show is actually a movie that came from the other Black Mirror episodes. Are you familiar with Black Mirror?
I am, yes.
Oh, okay. Have you seen any episodes?
I saw the first episode, which I think that was, I can't remember the title, you have to excuse me, because there's now, as I'm learning based on this review that we're doing for the movie, there's a lot of twists and turns, and so I can't like really keep up with it. It kind of puts me in the mind of American Horror Story, kind of like which American Horror Story are you talking about type thing.
Right.
So I cannot go and tell you the actual title, but
do you remember what happened in it?
No.
Okay.
First of all, we're talking about Bandersnatch.
I know.
And what Bandersnatch means to you.
You know, we were just relating some Black Mirror stuff in there.
That's
trying to see
true.
what you
That's
so
true.
in the family, they don't mind for the free pub.
Right.
But yeah, but just to get into it, we do have the director by the name of David Slade. He directed Hard Candy. Have you seen Hard Candy?
Oh my gosh, he was the director for that?
Yeah.
I actually like that. I like that Legendary with that.
And probably another movie you're familiar with, 30 Days of Night, the vampire movie.
Yes, with Josh Hartnett in the movie. That was actually, I mean, that's based on a graphic novel, right?
I believe so.
I believe so.
Yeah, I believe so.
I think it's a graphic comic book, and it was fucked up, of course. But hey, 30 Days a Night. What do you expect? But anyways, we digress.
And you also you did a few episodes of American Gods. You ever watched that TV show?
I have not watched that TV show.
Oh, okay.
So that's another plethora of things I need to add to my must-watch bucket list that you keep giving me. So I like that. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And were you familiar with any of the characters in this film?
Yes, I was familiar with William. Please forgive me if I mispronounce his name. English-born Will Polar, I believe is that how you say his last name. But he was most known for like Chronicles of Narnia, I believe, Dawn Treader, and also most recently We Are the Millers.
Right.
I thought that movie was absolutely amazing.
Right.
As far as comedy wise.
Right.
So yeah.
Right.
But he was the one that stuck out for me. This gentleman that you're getting ready to talk about next, I believe his name is Fionn Whitehead. Right. And with the A dropped, of course. So that's why I'm saying it like that. But for me, he was a newcomer. I wasn't very aware of all of his stuff, except for the fact that he played in the 2007 film Dunkirk.
Yeah.
So that's probably the only thing that I really know as far as his body of work. I'm sure he's done a plethora of other body of work, but I'm still getting to know him.
All right, okay. Yeah, he did that. And he has another film. It might be a foreign film called Him. But he plays Stefan Butler. He's the lead character.
Right.
And you have Peter Butler, played by Craig Parkinson. I don't know if you say you didn't get a chance to see Misfits yet, right?
Not yet. Haven't seen Misfits yet.
Well, he's on Misfits.
Okay.
And he's also in another film called Four Lions. And you have Dr. Haynes, played by Alice Lowe. She was in Hot Fuzz.
Yes, I love Hot Fuzz. Yeah. Oh my god!
So did she look familiar to you? Did she?
She actually looked quite different.
Oh, okay.
Because didn't she play as Doris? Doris, the character Doris in Hot Fuzz, was she the?
I believe. I'm not sure. That's a good question.
I have to double check and see, but I actually liked her in this role of Dr. Hayes. It was actually pretty cool to have. I've noticed that this film is really focused more on the guys, because I guess when you think of programmers are mostly, it's a man's world type of thing. I'm sure that there are some very credible female programmers, but that was one of the things that did stick out to me. She was like besides the other female, those were only two females that I saw that was kind of constant throughout the film, if you think about that.
Right.
Besides the other chick, though. But that was the decision I made, but we'll get into that more.
And you also have Colin Rittman. That's who Queen Ella Satine mentioned earlier. Will Poulter.
Yep, Poulter. Yeah, Poulter. Will Poulter.
She also mentioned that he was in the Millers, and also the Maze Runner. Yes. And you have Mohan Thakur, played by Sim Chaudhry. He was in People Just Do Nothing and Love Pool. And just to give you a log line, it's about a video game programmer with mental issues. He starts a new career for a famous gaming company while he questions his reality. And what was your initial response, like going into this film?
Well, we got to back up. We got to let people know that this is kind of a period piece, because this was set in 1984.
That's true.
So you, when you start looking at the film, you'll see a lot of different music that came from that era, as well as like the clothing. So I wanted to kind of back up on that.
Oh yeah.
But for me, I saw what other people said, but for me, this film literally was, in my opinion, Inception. Like, it was like Inception gaming style, with the fact that you get an opportunity to choose multitudes of how this particular movie is going to end, and the fact that you're controlling somebody else. Versus it being in other words. But for me, it was literally like Inception. If I had to put it in a sentence to kind of stick it out there, it's like Inception, mind game for those who choose, or something like that. I know that wasn't the coolest way that it sounded good in my head, but but coming out, I was like, stop. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. For me personally, and we'll probably talk more about this, I really just didn't like the way that it ended. That's just for me. But as far as the movie overall, I like the fact that you were the ones in control of this man's destiny. And I like the fact that David Slade, who was the director, he thought this out so much in advance that they already had the actors. It didn't matter which decision you chose. They were kind of like ready, wanting to action. And I can only imagine how much shooting time and planning and the acting was just amazing when it came to that.
Right. I was digging that, and there was a couple of choices that we went through. I'll say a couple of the early choices. You had to choose between Frosted Flakes and
Sugar Puffs.
So
you had to choose his cereal. That started with the first choice, and the second choice was the type of music he that you got to choose for him as he was going to meet up with this gaming company.
Yeah, so basically in the first choice you had to pick between the cereal from the bottom of the shelf in the grocery store, Sugar Puffs, and so that in the other choice it was more or less like one of the artists that you chose was Now 2.
Yes.
So that was.
But remember, beforehand I had to get and that's another great thing about this. Depending on it, even though you get to choose the certain things that this particular individual does, and when I mean individual, Stefan, the main protagonist, if you don't choose correctly, it kind of like actually rewinds back for you, and then you're forced to kind of make some different decisions again. So originally I chose the Thompson twins, and then when I got the opportunity, when it was like, oh, you chose the wrong thing, go back, I then chose Now 2.
Yep.
So those are the two choices that you get to choose, and again, this is the second choice in the movie.
Right. So yeah, that was pretty cool. It kind of like, fills you in. It kind of, you don't make any heavy choices in the beginning. It just tries to get you used to making the choices.
Yes.
And I guess getting in a comfortable spot to watch it, to make the choice.
Right.
But yeah, like it kind of eases you in, and then all of a sudden,
shit happens.
Actually, the first choice is the toughest choice. Because I think everybody gets out on that one, the first choice.
Yeah, with the cereal.
Well, no, my bad, not the first choice. Which one was it where they ask you if you want to work for the company?
That's the third choice.
Yeah.
Yes. Uh-huh.
So the third choice, that was I think that's the choice that everybody gets wrong, but I think it's to wake people up. Like, all right,
you need to start paying attention to this. Yeah. So the director and even the actors, and I do apologize, I don't know who the screen writer is for this, but they did a phenomenal job too with like certain wording, because another thing that I noticed, that even after you had to go back, if you didn't choose correctly, there were certain things that it was kind of like a deja vu type moment. It's like, wait a minute, you knew that? But I remember you saying that. Have we met before? Type thing. So I that's why I say Inception, because they kind of talk about that. And even kind of like almost, I'll even go back even further. The Matrix, where, in the one scene in the Matrix, they are walking into the building, they see the cat. Well, Neo sees the cat, and then the cat like shakes off water, and literally does it again. He's like, deja vu.
Right.
I had to stay in the Keanu Reeves voice. He's done better now, but he's always had that surfer thing. So I also have to include the Matrix in with that. Then it makes you, do you choose the red pill or the blue pill type thing?
There you go. Yeah.
So that's something that I just noticed just now.
And actually, it's funny that you brought that up, because I did want to ask you, what did you relate the movie to? So you did say it related to you with The Matrix and Inception.
Yeah, Inception was definitely the one that stuck out to me. I think even before we got on the podcast, that's what I told you. I said, I'm definitely seeing Inception here. Because like my mind was like totally blown, like, oh my God.
And then on mine, I felt like it was more or less like Legion. I don't know if you watch the TV shows about Professor X's son. It gets real crazy. It's almost like you're on acid. And funny, they took acid
in the damn movie, right?
And then also Donnie Darko. You ever seen Donnie Darko?
I have seen Donnie Darko. It does put me in a it puts me in
that energy.
Like from an indie film type stance. Yeah, give me that Donnie Darko type thing.
Yeah, it's that energy. So but yeah, I also did know about the characters. Like you mentioned earlier, that the characters stood out to you.
Yeah, definitely, because I knew who he was first. William, the actor William. What was his character name?
Poulter. Colin.
Colin. So Colin stuck out to me because he came off like he kind of knew where Stefan was going to go. And I felt like originally he was trying to lead him on a path of enlightenment, but not also get lost in all of the bullshit. Then you find out this motherfucker is like lost to the bullshit and he losing his fucking mind too. But then again, with the decisions that you choose to make, I know there was one decision like I kind of want to watch the movie again because I want to pick this particular decision. I can't remember which number, if we had to put it on the scale, what decision number this would be, but I really wanted to see how that would play out between him and the interaction with him and his psychiatrist. You know?
Right, yeah.
Don't want to get the whole movie away, so that's why I just said that particular interaction. So
I do too.
You guys, you gotta force yourself. Well, I won't say force yourself. You definitely need to take time to watch this, just off of the fucking title. I mean, come on, Bandersnatch. The bandit snatched him. He took her snatch. Something. What does Bandersnatch mean to you? Like just on title alone. Sorry, that's just for me.
Yeah, so that's what's up. So also I think everyone lost the first choice, and I said that earlier. And also with the guy in the book, he wrote the book, but now he has like a company. Well, the guy's trying to transfer information from the book into the game.
And this book is written by who?
Jerome F. Davies.
So Jerome F. Davies is who in the movie?
Now, Jerome F. Davies was the cat that what's his name? Stefan was idolizing.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That eventually, he had all of this about choices, but then he eventually lost his mind. I think cut off his wife's head.
Yeah, it was crazy. So, but that's I believe also too the premises of when. And since he's a young programmer, he already seemed like he was already on edge anyways. I've noticed kind of like pale and shy and kind of like withdrawn, I felt, but he had enough confidence to be like, look, I want to be a programmer. So I think this also kind of stems how we all, when we're so in our being naive and we're anxious, that ultimately our choices, we have all these ideas, we become idolists at first until fucking reality hits, and then you're like, oh fucking shit, and then before you know it, you're either going to adapt or unfortunately you end up losing your mind in the process, which they will say most geniuses tend to be at some point go crazy or have a crazy spout, and then either they fold into it or they come back from it. So yeah, I'm going to take this phrase, so I'm sorry you're going to be mad at me, but I think in that sense, this was very ingenious. Okay. I will say from that standpoint. Like I said, for me, and I know I keep going into this and I can't go into the ending because the great thing is, as you're going through this movie and you're making these choices for this poor guy who eventually comes to realization that he doesn't feel like he's in control, he starts losing his shit even more. That the ending for me, it seemed to me, it was, I always tell my sister that Netflix, when they make movies now, it's like fucking Lifetime. You have this movie, it was like, we gotta hurry up and write this and dish it out, and then you're left at the end with like a poo-putt fucking ending. Like, that was it. So this motherfucker went through all of this for this to end up being this. So I feel like in that sense, Netflix's hand is headed in that direction on that, and that's what this particular ending gave me. It literally, I was going up for a climax and I didn't get my climax. It fell short, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm not satisfied.
Right. I would say from my point of view, I felt like I was messing up for the character, because at first I was kind of BSing around on the choices, kind of seeing where to go. Like, I'm like, maybe it might go here. I'll take a chance. It's not my life, and then I'll take a chance.
Which is fucked up. But you got some people that think like that when you're playing God.
And then so I'm thinking like, I'm really messing this dude's life up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I just took this dude, and then the whole, like, before I looked up, this dude's life was going like down the drain. I mean, fast. And so, I felt like I was a fucked up guardian angel. I felt so bad.
How you think I damn felt? I felt like I was a fucked up ass guardian angel. I felt like this was a great experience, but it just is scary too, because like you said, this guy was already on edge and fucked up, and we have further fucked up this guy's life.
Yo, I tell you this, you did better than me. Like, I'm gonna release this because you have so many alternate endings. This is the worst alternate ending. I had to cut my father up.
Oh God!
Because I got to the point where I was trying to pick a choice where I could get another answer, but I think when I was messing around, I fell so low to the point it was hard to get back up.
You just said, "Fuck it, we're gonna take them down even lower."
Cause like
you terrible guardian angel.
No,
it's the devil that's stuck in there. Talking about, well, just fuck it up even more. Haha, let's just go further.
No. It got to the point where my choices got real low. Like got to the point where it was like bury your father or cut up your father. It's like I don't want to do neither. But
I would rather bury him than to cut him up. You had to sit there and cut through.
No, I did that, and then also the dog sniffed him out, and I got arrested. So
cutting him up was better.
I thought it would be. I lasted longer and a longer life.
That's fucked up.
Nah, he went through hell. But I gave him a dope ending. You know what I'm saying? I gave him an ending. I don't know if it was because you have multiple endings, but I felt like the life that he lived, my ending explained it. It was sad, you know what I'm saying? But I think it explained it. I had the same ending as you. So taking him through hell and then he going back, you know, so I think that kind of said it.
Mine was a little bit, and baby, this is me as a person, and Critical kept laughing at me because, man, you just refused to not talk about your mother, huh? And I was refusing to, it was one decision you had to choose to either, you know, yell at your dad and tell him to back off, or you had to fucking kill him. It took me the third try before I said, you know what? As a matter of fact, I didn't even choose to kill him.
Never chose.
It ended up choosing for me, and he killed Dad. He killed poor old Dad, but I had to cut him up.
Right, but hey, you know, I found sanctuary for him at the end of mine.
After all the hell I think we both put him through, I feel like I put him, and not that, oh, yours is better than mine, but I felt like I put him through less hell.
You did, yeah.
Then you did. But the fact of the matter is, what does it matter? Because we both end up getting the same ending, and he still went through hell regardless. That's Sweet Pea, by the way. If y'all hear all that craziness in the background, but mine, like he went through hell regardless, and that was the most fucked up thing for me in reality. Because, like you said, the novelty of it's like, wow, I get to pick and choose what this person's gonna do next. And then as you're going, you're like, oh shit. And then you're gonna have some people, some of y'all out there are very damn sadistic and like, yeah, ha, I'm enjoying this. Well, I didn't enjoy it because then I start putting myself in his shoes. That could be me.
Right.
That you making a fucked up ass choice. I choose to cut up some damn body I love. Thanks a lot, Critical. So I almost slipped up and said the wrong thing.
Let me ask you this: do you think there should be more films with choices? Like how do you feel on that whole outtake? You know, just
for me, as with anything, I really was not ready for that. And after seeing that, after a while, I feel like with anything that starts off as a novelty, it's great, but then it starts to lose its shine and luster. Do I feel like we're going to see more movies like that? I most definitely do. You've seen it with what is not even, I can't even say Crank or Crank 2. It is, but it's the same directors. I think was it the Nevin twins? And it's this movie that Gerard Butler did. They kind of did that. As a matter of fact, that movie reminds me of that movie. I cannot think of it in enough time. But basically, they use real people to play video games, and you had these people being wired into these other real people and making choices for them, thinking it was a video game, and it wasn't. They actually was killing folks. So it actually had Michael C. Hall in there, the gentleman that played as Dexter. And I told you Gerard Butler was in there. I'm about to go and look that up right now. I'm trying to stall, but
oh no, it's all
feel
good.
free. We can double back on that.
Oh, okay, no, it's all good. But you know, also I did like you had many paths to different realities, because sometimes like you can't take the same storyline with you, even when you make next choices.
That's true.
Or when you have to go back or whatever. Because sometimes you have to go back when your dead end ends. You know what I'm saying? You have a choice that leads you into a dead end.
Right.
So once that ends, it'll take you back, and then you'll go back. But sometimes the storyline that you came from isn't the same.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like certain situations might be going on one end, then it might not be happening on the other end. So it's almost like you're waking up in different alternate realities.
Right. Okay, now I found a movie. The movie Gamer is what I was talking about.
Okay.
So this also, we were just talking about what other movies, and I couldn't think of and this is it. Gamer, which was, I I think he's worked with this team of people before, but Gamer is actually by the same directors that did Crank 1 and 2 with Jason Statham, excuse me.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's what's up. So
yeah, so directed by Navadine and Taylor.
Okay.
Yeah, so Gamer, it also puts me in the mind that except with this fact, it's from the TV audience doing it versus is the TV audience watching this movie of people actually wiring to real people thinking that they're not killing them in real life.
All right.
So,
Okay.
Yeah.
No, so let me ask you this. So what would you give this?
I originally said one number, but now that I actually had time to really talk it out, I will give this a 9.
A 9?
Yeah.
Wow, okay. That's pretty high. Okay. You gave it for the stars. That's what's
up.
up.
Yeah. Well, we already know what you're going to give it.
What am I going to give it?
I'm going to give this a solid 7.5 for effort. You never give a movie a high score or a perfect 10. I said this in our last podcast, but you don't. But I'm ready. Hit me with it. 1, 2, 3. Drum roll, please.
All right. I give this movie 9 Commodores.
What?
9 Commodores.
What?
I mean, something that's so original. The closest thing I could think that's like this is this game I had. It was an actual toy. I forgot the name of it, and it's like you shoot at the screen, and the toy is like the gun that's in your hand. It's like a ship, and it's like a toy inside, like a little guy that's inside the ship. And so sometimes the camera will be shooting at you, the television will be shooting at you, and it will hit the gun, and the guy will pop out of the gun. It's like interactive like that. So this is the closest to interacting television or whatever.
Okay, for us, that's not so when it comes to that. I don't know what you're talking about. Out of all motherfucking comparisons, my nigga, you could have chose something else besides that. Like, did anybody get that? I didn't.
Yo, you just have to be of a certain age. If I remember the name of the toy.
First of all, I am around your same age, and I know what toy you're talking about. But the way you explained it was so fucked up that you lost me. So the fact that he even gave this a 9 Commodores, ladies and gentlemen, I am in shock. Because you normally don't give movies that high. I gave it a 9. I know you were surprised because I originally gave it another number. I originally, ladies and gentlemen, was going to give it an 8. But after talking through this and the great questions that our quite handsome and charismatic host allowed me to think outside the box more and to really stretch what I really thought about things. So that's why I had to up it to a 9.
Okay.
I give it 9 glistening castles since I'm Queen Ella Satine.
Oh.
So you like the Commodore. I'm going to give it
I was going to give it
glistening, sparkly castles.
I was giving it something that was on the movie. But hey.
I knew you were going to say that, but I'm the queen, so... And I like glitter, sparkle, what girly girl doesn't. Although I don't like to think of myself as a girly girl, considering that I love freaking anime and damn kung fu movies. Like most females are not into that. So okay. I can't really say that I'm girly, but since we was comparing, I decided to say fucking castles.
There you go.
Or how about this? I give it 9 nosedives up. You weren't ready for that. You wasn't ready for that. That came from the film too.
Yeah, it did. The note in the game. The first game.
Yeah, but ladies and gentlemen, you definitely need to, if you'll get what I mean by what I just said, that if you watch the movie carefully. And if you don't, then hey, fuck it. Yeah. Come up with your own star rating.
There you go.
Or rating, because you might not even look at it as a star rating.
But yeah, I would say definitely check it out. That's Black Mirror Bandersnatch. And
whatever that means to you.
But yeah, so I enjoyed it. I think we both enjoyed it. I think we know we both enjoyed it.
Yes.
So I'm gonna go ahead and leave it with that and tell everybody. I'm over here having fun with Sweet Pea.
I know Sweet Pea is trying to get your attention. Y'all need to leave this fucking podcast and play with me.
I know, right?
Fuck this shit. If she could talk, she would be interrupting us right now, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah.
But that's what's up, and I appreciate it. And remember to make me laugh by giving listener support for the podcast. And would you like to give your Instagram and things of that nature? That's something you want to do? You don't have to. It's up to you.
My Instagram handle is Queen Ella Satine. That is Queen and then Ella, Ella Satine, Satine. If you choose to try and follow me, I'm going to check out your profile first. And if you are a person or persons that I would like to follow, or you like to follow me, that's how we're going to do it. So thanks a lot for putting me on the spot there, Chris.
No problem. And the thing is, I got to remember what mine is. Mine is Critical Blues Reviews. Yeah. just put that.
Is like attacking you.
Yeah, I know, right? Just put that in and it should pop up. You should see a cartoon face. But anyway, man, we appreciate you listening. Y'all keep it real and one.